Hey guys, I'm Devin,
I'm Diego.
And I'm Max.
and we're Baka Burrito, and on today's episode, we're joined by...
Robert Barnes, and today's episode is about JuJutsu Kaisen.
So, like he said, we're going to be talking about JuJutsu Kaisen today, and we're going to be telling you whether you should watch or read it. I mean, well, not between the two.
The answer is yes to both.
Whether you should give the series a shot. Uh,
Spoilers, yeah, it's just to both.
yeah, as Max and Diego have already said, the answer is going to be yes, but we're going to tell you why. So, when we were coming up with the idea for this collaboration, Robert and I were talking about some pretty hot manga and anime that are out right now, and he was like, "Yo, I've been reading this one. It's excellent. It's JuJutsu Kaisen," and I was like, "Yo, fam, I'm caught up."
Yo.
But that gave me the excuse to give these two the homework assignment to read it, and let me just say, Diego.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah.
And literally, I read. I want to say how many chapters are out? I read 139 or 29
Yeah, it's
chapters.
like 30, 39, yeah.
I read it in 3 separate sittings, and that was one of the best experiences. That was freaking hilarious. You
I'm
know?
currently at 86 chapters, but that's also because I'm a little stubborn in the fact that I also have like 10,000 other things to read that Devin recommended that I've been pushing off, so I gotta get them all in.
And so the crazy thing is, I only gave them a minimum read requirement.
Right.
I asked them to watch all of the episodes that were out at the time, which was up to 4. I think it was 4 or 5, something like that.
Like, yeah, 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah. It was 4 or 5.
So because now there's like 8, so we've had about 3 weeks. And then I asked them to read until chapter 20, and clearly both of them went way beyond that. It was like literally the bare minimum, because I like to like just so that we could talk about it, like even if they fell off at like the 20 chapter mark.
Yeah.
So
and 20 chapters isn't even bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, because I feel like even after chapter 20, you're in an arc, so it's like you don't want to stop.
Yeah,
It's
it's fast paced. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna go ahead and ask is for Robert to go ahead and start with what made you pick up JuJutsu Kaisen, and then I mean we already know the other two's answer is the deadline, but like what made you keep reading is going to be your question. So Robert's going to go first, and then you guys can answer that question, okay?
All right.
So my thing is, when it comes to me reading manga, especially because if you guys don't know, there's an app called Shonen Jump. So I have a membership and everything. And there's times where I'll either reread an old manga like Bleach, but then sometimes it's like I need something new.
Yeah.
So how I got into Jujutsu Kaisen was because on the app they'll have new chapters lined up on top of the app itself, and it was like the first one in the row. So I hit it, and it was just like, whoa, hold up. These guys is in the middle in the whole arc, the whole war right now. What kind of
Hold on.
Just put up into the chapter.
Right.
This man said newest chapter. Oh man, that's pretty good. I should go back.
I went all the way back, and it's just like obviously the main character, the main protagonist, has the traditional, shonen traits and everything. But then the way how there's like some episodes where except for Hunter x Hunter, his father already left him, but it's like they always have like a parental figure or a active parent, or they have someone they look up to that pushes them into doing something, and they're still there in their life in some shape or form.
Yes.
This one, that person just
Yeah.
gone.
The grandfather just straight up died episode/chapter 1.
Yeah, and it's just like.
And it was crazy because it was in the middle of a conversation. Like it was, like I low key didn't I knew he was gonna die.
Low-key, it wasn't in the middle of it.
Like he
Because
said
he knew he was gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He just choked. Like he just gone.
Yeah, which I think it was actually well done in the anime because they gave you that long pause and you're just like, what's this? And then you're like, oh, he's actually like.
No, even in the manga, I felt like that too, because it's like
The difference.
Right.
The thing is though, I will agree with Diego on this because of the fact that in the anime we had the luxury of having the pause in the speech.
Mhm.
In the anime, it was in the manga, it was a panel and a half, and then he was like crying by the phone. Like it
But
was.
then I think it's the author like really telling us to be like what the grandfather is saying, like don't cry. Like he didn't say don't cry for me, but his attitude was don't cry, move on. That's what I felt like when I was reading that chapter.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, he died. Fuck. Then the action came in, like he had to go save his friends and shit like that. So it's just like, damn, that's not something that I'm used to, because a lot of these shonens, it's like it's not. I'm not gonna disrespect and say it's dragged on, but we do have time to like really let it marinate.
Yeah, yeah.
With the loss of something.
I mean, for example, the death of the third Hokage in Naruto Part 1. Like
we got a funeral.
We got a funeral and then an episode for them to mourn, and then it was like Sasuke retrieval and whatnot.
Right.
Like so, there was time.
Yeah, because for me, I watched the anime first before starting to read the manga, so I had a little bit of a different take on like when I was watching those scenes, because I was thinking like, oh, all right, like they're gonna have like this whole little drawn out thing, and then he just died, and then like all of a sudden I see this random human boxing a straight up demonic creature.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, let's go. I was like, action time, like let's go.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is that the way it's paced is, I want to say, really well, because when you're watching it in the anime, all right, so I guess I watched I think I watched the first 4 episodes, the first 5 episodes, and then I just started reading from the manga from there. So, but I guess the way it's done is paced so well because when you're reading it or when you're watching it, you see this old guy and you're like, oh man, this is about to be some drawn out 5 episodes. Yeah. We're gonna get 5 episodes to know this guy, and then he's gonna die to give us character. Right. But then they just did it in the first episode, and it's like, okay, that's good character motivation. Yeah. And then it's like, oh wait, that could end up being bad character motivation depending on
And then it's like his character motivation just like stopped, and it became something new.
Yeah,
Where now he has to choose how he dies. What fucking like manga or anime have you ever heard that we know the character's going to die at some point, but we don't know how he's going to die?
Yeah, I mean there have been a couple. For example, Buso Renkin, the Bleach ripoff that was done better than Bleach. Yeah. You knew. Buso Renkin is done better than Bleach, and I'm willing to die on that hill, but that could be a different video.
Hey, that's
well, to bring it back on. Have this discussion.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna write that.
That whole like, whoa.
So anyway. So the thing about Itadori is that his grandfather dying in that way, his motivation, like he's not really like he's a good guy, like he's a pretty decent person, but he's not like I'm gonna save everyone just to save everyone, right? His motivation is like, well, I'm gonna die soon, and Grandpa told me help as many people as possible, even if it's just one. He's helping to honor the last words of someone who died. That's different. That's different than someone who's like, I'm born a good person, I'm just gonna save everyone. Like,
but it does sort of become that way.
It can, yes.
Towards the like it does sort of kind of become that way, because as you see, like he's not doing it no longer for his grandpa. Now he's all right, now I have to be the one to save point, and it plays off so well off the parallel to the other trope, which is the Megumi. The strong, stoic, dark-haired character that's always, brooding and stuff.
AKA the Sasuke.
Yeah, AKA the Sasuke or something. But but the thing is that it plays off his motivations and stuff play off so well off his rival's counterpart too. And I've never seen it done that way, where one Itadori died. So now that goes as character motivation for both Megumi and oh my god, I forgot her name. Steel girl, what's her name?
Something.
Yeah.
I can't believe we forgot her name. If that is not a testament.
The girl with the hammer. I'll put a picture of her. I'll put her picture of her on screen.
But I would like to say about the rival, because there's another trope about shonen mangas, is that it's screamed at us so much. Mm-hmm. It's screamed at us so much. With this one, there's times where I forget that those two are rivals.
Well,
are they really rivals?
It's because they're more like they're not even like competitive rivals. They're like, they don't seem like that. Like,
they're
honestly,
more friends.
If you want to compare like an actual rival, I would actually say it's Mojito. The villain dude with the scars on his face, because the way him like
transparent guy.
Yeah. The dude with because his dynamic is similar to Itadori's with Sukuna, but and he's one of the stronger characters in the show. Whereas Gojo Sensei, he's a mentor character very clearly. Mojito is the villain, but a rival at the same time. Yeah. At least in my opinion, because he's more like a battle rival.
There were 3 reasons why I started it, not including that I had a deadline to do this whole thing. But Devin said there's a parkour panda in the opening. And as soon as he said that to me, I was like, I'm listening. And then it got me into it.
He watched the first episode immediately after I told him that did happen.
There was a parkour panda. I'm like, you got me. It's something really dumb but fun. All right, I'm in.
That's definitely one of the reasons I kept watching. I was like, well, I gotta know what's up with this panda. So
the funniest part about that was though, when the episode came, or not the episode, when the chapter came around that he realized Panda was an actual character who could talk. Max literally sends me a message on Snapchat going, "Wait, he can talk?"
Yo, I was hyped. I'm like, yo, this might be my new favorite character. Anyway. The second reason I really started liking it, especially from the anime standpoint, was the opening itself got me hyped for every episode. I was like, oh, we here for some stuff. I downloaded that song on my phone. I listen to it to go to work right now to get me motivated to go file some taxes, man.
That's kind of sad. The song is kind of sad though.
Nah, it fits me trying to do accounting work perfectly. Trying to get it's sad the fact I'm filing taxes. Anyway. And then the third reason is just the actual art style and the way the fights are done. To me, that really grabs my attention right away. Just because even whether you're reading in the manga or watching the anime, the fight is just done in such a smooth way. It looks kind of like a dance to me at some point.
The one thing I will say, actually, I have 2 comments about your reasonings. I agree with all of them. They were part of the reasons why I'm continuing as well. But for the art standpoint, I actually do prefer the anime in this instance because of the color, the subtlety and themes of the color, and how vibrant they made something as subtle as Itadori's hair, because there's a lot of people who think Itadori's hair is white in the manga, because the one because he has a whitish pink hue to his hair, whereas in the anime it's pink, right? But I like that. The color work is excellent. The shading, excellent.
Oh my god.
And then for the opening, the foreshadowing and the symbology for something as little as Junbei. I mean, it's not little. Junbei is a very important character, and he's easily one of the most tragic characters in anime so far.
And that's
we can continue on the Junbei thing after Diego gives his reason, because I do want to talk about him.
It's not even only Junbei. This is so go. Okay,
go ahead.
I literally only have one reason for continue going. Literally just one reason, and it's because the character interactions in the show are so good, bro.
Yes.
The character actions alone, either they're making me chuckle, they're entertaining me, they're saying something badass, they're saying, they're giving good exposition to the world, you know what I'm saying? There's always something for me to look forward into. And no, you keep talking.
That's a good anime adaptation, that you take these moments of the characters are doing, the interactions and everything, and the jokes. Because sometimes the jokes in the manga does not read well in the anime. Yeah. And it's just they're doing the same thing. It's a great.
Yeah. Yo, for example, that scene when they go to save the volcano-headed guy, his name is Jogo, right? Not Gojo.
Jogo, yeah.
Yeah, Jogo, yeah. So when the plant demon, I'm gonna call him the plant. Yeah. When he goes to save Jogo, and he sprouts the flowers, and Itadori and Gojo go, ooh, that brief chibi scene, they brought that straight from the manga and animated it. And when they didn't have to do that, but
they didn't have to do the scene when he's taking pictures of what's his name,
Gojo.
In the first episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Megumi. Yeah, you're right.
Because also another thing, I do like the subtle changes, but there are some that miss for me. And one specific is when The dude with the pineapple head. I always call him Pineapple Head after Megumi called him that. Shirtless guy, always talking about women.
10 out of 10 character.
Togo.
Yes.
Toto?
Toto, yeah.
Toto.
So when he's beating the bricks off of Megumi, and in the manga, Megumi summons frogs to like space it out, or chimera frogs rather. He doesn't do that in the anime. I do think that is.
Wait, he does summon frogs.
No, because the way the fight gets broken up in the anime is the dude goes stop as he's lunging towards him, but in the manga, he's already restrained and then he says stop, and then he completely stops moving. So he's restrained when Panda punches him. Yeah. So the anime makes Panda. Well, it's not that I don't have a problem with this part. The anime makes Panda seem much stronger. Because in the manga it seemed like it was a team effort to stop him.
Yeah.
But it's a minor nitpick, but it doesn't give Megumi like it makes him seem like he's able to defend himself less. But that's my one nitpick.
I will say one other thing though that you remind me of actually about the anime, and it's not done in the manga at all. It's like sometimes if you watch the ending and afterwards, like there's those small little joke scenes at the end they do with the characters. I don't know if you guys have watched them.
Yeah.
I love those. Every one of those. My favorite's the one where they go actually to the Idols concert. Like event. Because I want to know. Because when I read the manga, I'm like, yo, like I want to know about this handshaking event. What happened? And then lo and behold, they show me. And what I love is he's like, your turn to go shake hands with her. And she goes.
And then he asked her to do the pose, and she's like, ah. And then her manager's like, all right, you're up.
No, I'm talking about then afterwards he goes up to what's her face. I can't remember her name. The other girl that was with the sister, the twin.
The gun girl.
Yeah, the gun girl.
Yeah,
and gives her a ticket and is like, you must understand the true charm. And she goes out and does the whole thing. And you hear her in her monologue, she's like, it wasn't bad. She doesn't want to admit that it was fun. And just to me, like those small little things also, to me, humanize the characters a little more to me. And it makes them way more relatable because I'm just like, yo, that's Devin when he finally admits that something I'm doing is fun.
Yeah, yo, the manga artist knows how to make characters, I want to say, likable. Because when it comes to the Sakura chick, right? I kind of forgot her name, but the girl that we're calling Sakura, at least she's, you know, like funny and interacting with Itadori and like
I loved her. I loved her
and like cracking jokes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he might be getting cooked in fights, but at least like as a person, she's not making fun of Itadori like in his core. You know.
And to piggyback on the like cooked in fights and everything, it's just like she's not the only one that gets cooked too, and I love this.
Yeah, Megumi gets his shit pushed every fight.
Oh man, yo, Megumi versus Sukuna, yo, they did it the way they did it in the manga, right? The first time after when he kills Itadori.
Yeah.
Yo, the way he was getting his shit pushed in the anime was disrespectful. He got thrown through Section 8 housing 4 times. He got kicked into a Holiday Inn. This man was like, yo. My bird about to die, bro. You know what? I might as well take this L by myself. Like,
yo,
you know, okay.
Yeah, go.
So another thing about what about JuJutsu Kaisen is so interesting is also finding the similarities from other manga shows. Like obviously the school and the team display is Naruto.
Yeah,
the power system.
7, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the power system reminds me of Bleach from Shikai and Bankai.
I actually would argue it's closer to Hunter x Hunter. I was
about to say the same thing.
I see that too.
Yeah, I do adamantly believe that the power system is closer to Hunter x Hunter. Mixed with a little. The only thing it has in common with Bleach, I would say, is like the name of it, like like spiritual pressure, like magic, like curse.
But then I'm thinking about like when they do like their cursed. It's not a curse mark. The curse. See, I'm thinking about Naruto. Curse energy. Yeah, the curse technique. That's like their Shikai, but the domain expansion is their Bankai.
Kind of. But it's also that. But that's another thing. It's also very similar to like Mana Zone from Black Clover. Because Mana Zone, if for those who don't know, in Black Clover, they can use the magic that's innate to their body, but in the area around them.
Right.
Like it's like an AOE type of thing. And I love the way that domain expansion is done, and we can keep talking about that. First of all, Infinite Void is busted. That's the best video. That's the best ability in all of anime.
Whoever the author is knew what they were going to do with Jogo, like for real, like off the rip. Rip. This man said, like, what did Ichidori say? He was like, "Can you beat him?" He was like, "I'm the strongest." I was like, "Wait, hold up."
Yo, and
flex like that. That hard.
The first episode, and Sukuna was like, "Yo, he just out here swinging, right? Like he's throwing haymakers, he's slashing, he's throwing kicks from way back. He's out here doing like taijutsu moves I haven't seen since Rock Lee. Like when Rock Lee bodied Sasuke, that's the vibe I get from Sukuna when he's fighting."
And fucking Jogo just said, "Spin."
He literally sat on his back and said, My students watching, I gotta show off a little bit.
No, he's still talking about the cupcake. He's still talking about the souvenirs and everything. Like,
oh my god!
It was after he got up and he was like, "Yo, this dude whispered in his ear. He was like, I gotta show off now." I was like, "Yo, hello."
And then he proceeds to show off.
Yeah. Or when he's fighting the volcano dude again.
Oh man, that was my favorite fight so far animated.
Cool. So while he's fighting the volcano head, and he's literally teaching Itadori about domain expansion and everything like that, and then he's literally explaining to the other guy. He's like, "Oh yeah, in your domain expansion, your technique will absolutely hit. It won't get lost in infinity." And the dude's like, "Okay, bet." And he's like, "Unless, of course, I use mine." And then I was like, he's literally teaching the villain how to beat him, but it doesn't matter because he's so indomitable.
It's
and
like
that's
he was born.
when he was before, when Diego was talking about character interaction, I actually wanted to say that one of the best character interactions for me in the whole series is the fact that all of the villains know that Gojo is going to dust them. So their whole plan, every time you see them planning, Mahito's first plan is, all right, if we can lock Gojo in this box for the limited time that it'll hold him, we can beat everyone else. And obviously that arc. I'm sorry. Just you bringing that up. That arc is just, oh my god. And the fact that we know that that's his plan, like his plan is, all right, we convert Sukuna to our side and we lock Gojo in the box for however long it'll hold him, and then we can win.
And then victory.
For a little while.
Because they know if he's involved, they lose, and that's such a good interaction.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to spoil people, but I also like how they kind of planned it out in the actual arc when they planned it out, how to get him. Like they had a whole crowd and stuff like that. It was so crazy. Joker did not give a fuck at all. He's like, these people are going to be hospitalized for 3 months. I can use that. I can fucking use that.
One of the cool things I found though is when they were doing the tournament arc early on in the manga, and they had the barrier come up that actually prevented Gojo from going in. They're literally they had a whole invasion planned out just to test out if their theory would work. That is how strong this man is. They're like, we need to plan a whole attack, and just to make sure that this barrier can stop him. We don't care about nobody else, just him.
All right, so one thing we can do is that the show has a lot of tropes, but I think me, Devin, and Max talked about this a lot earlier, or I talked to Devin back when I was catching up. The show does a lot of tropes, but the author almost knows intentionally that that's what you think, that you know that they're tropes, and so therefore he tries to throw you in for a little loop. He puts the trope and then makes it a little bit more interesting. So we have the demon inside Itadori that comes out whenever he's in dire trouble, but this demon is a character that we want to see and want to see his motivation, and he's actually trying to get out. He has a plan. You know what I'm saying? He's mad funny. We know that he's just trying to have fun doing this. So it all makes sense. All the character actors, all the character interactions and character motivations make sense. So it makes the story seem more smooth and more more. Yeah, it just flows like obviously Sukuna is gonna live for pleasure and stuff. He's a demon that, obviously he's gonna live for pleasure and stuff. So it makes sense that he's like gonna be doing the
Playing
stuff that he
around,
wants to
yeah.
do.
Yo,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And playing around and stuff.
Exactly. I think it's like the coolest thing when when he has his moments like this.
He's just filling up his desires to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But let's not forget about Homeboy, my man. I forgot his name, but the man with the glasses. With the
Kento Nanami, bro.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the best character in the series.
Yo, but
my favorite character, bro. He's my favorite character. I just can't.
He became my favorite when he said to the transparent
Mojito?
guy.
Yeah.
Mojito. He was like, it's 5:30. I came in at 10, and I'm clocking out at 6. I was like,
yeah.
Yo,
I felt that.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god, this guy knows He's like, work is shit. He's
right.
like, no matter what, I'm clocking up by 6. It's too
one
be
of
like that.
Yo, one of the best things about him is the fact that his motivation is literally he goes, yo, regular work is shit, shaman work is shit, but you know what? If they're both shit, I'll do the one that's harder. I was like,
but then he's also a character that I feel like everybody wants to learn more about. Like we really didn't know much. Like he was an office worker, but then it's like, how did you join Jujutsu Tech? Like, what was the motivation? Because meeting you is just like he's like Shikamaru. Like, god damn, this is a drag. Like, I got here at 10, bro. Like, I want to leave right now. And I like I might have interpreted this wrong. Him doing overtime, does he get stronger because he's on a time crunch?
I don't think he gets stronger as a time crunch, but I do think after 6 o'clock he gets stronger.
I think it's a stipulation to his ability. It's like if it's like clocking in overtime work, time and a half.
Yeah, so
that's
he's
how
probably
it'd
like stronger by
But when he said I'm out at 6, I never related more because I was reading that literally when I was at work. It was like it said 4. I get out at 5. It was like 4:55 or something. I look at the clock. I'm like, yo, I can relate. I'm gonna finish this chapter first, but I can relate.
that's me when I work doubles. They're like, oh, can you stay? Nah, I gotta go.
I gotta
go. No matter what.
And also, I did like his interaction with Itadori. Like he is the second mentor to Itadori, but also, I'm not saying Jogo doesn't really care about Itadori, but you tell like he really actually cares about his mental being.
Yo, it's funny you say that because I feel like he doesn't care about what Itadori does, like at all, but he does care about his well-being.
Yeah.
Look, one of the things I did like that they said, like it was early on, I don't remember who said it, but it doesn't matter, no matter what happens, you will die with regrets.
Yeah.
Like there's always going to be those regrets that you die, and I think that's the hard part of being a jiu-jitsu sorcerer in general, because you got to try and look, man. We ain't trying to focus about real life here. We talking about anime. We use that as an escape.
But that's pretty much what this anime is for. Like think about the themes in JuJutsu Kaisen. Think about the lessons that it tries to teach, right? Like everything in this show is so heavy. Like again, I'm gonna keep going back to Junbei because he's like in my top 3 for this show. Not even because of power, because he's not that strong. He has a fucking jellyfish.
Pretty strong.
But Junbei, literally his first interaction is, if there was a button for me to press to kill everyone I hate, I would never press it. But if there was a button for me to press for everyone that hated me to die, I would press it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like that's very telling about his character, because just because he dislikes
great characterization. That was a great characterization. Just off that one little speech, like you instantly know the type of character he is.
Yeah,
he's not like a malicious type of character.
He's not a monster, but he will defend himself if he needs to.
Correct.
Like, yeah. Which is, if you read Vagabond, if you read Vinland Saga, those are the like Thornfinn. Like he was kind of like he was just killing people that were hurting him.
I prefer to say he went through a phase and then went through slavery and then got out of that phase, right, and then sailed across the world.
Yo, but like specifically like for Junbei, like, right? He would fit in a show like Vagabond or Vinland Saga or Berserk. Like those worlds are like obviously I think they're darker than Jujutsu Kaisen, but Jujutsu Kaisen is like dark in a subtle way, and there are
I actually wouldn't say they're darker. Oh, maybe besides the exception of Berserk, because you said 3 series there. So, but specifically for Vinland and Vagabond, I don't think they're darker than Jujutsu Kaisen. I think Kaisen has like body transfigurations. Being like we have Itadori literally killing humans, not even fighting magical demons. He's literally putting down humans.
It's not the dark tone is not being thrown in our face. It's there. That's the world that they're in, and it's there. It's not the fact that we forget about it, but it's just like we're used to it.
It's not like I don't think the author's trying to be dark. I think it's just that this is just like how he wants to portray. This is the level of darkness that is realistic for his series. That would.
I agree. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, the one other thing I wanted to go over though was just how the characters react to the situations they're in throughout the series. Because I feel like in a lot of animes, like the reactions to situations aren't realistic. But in Jujutsu Kaisen, you see legitimate ways we'd react to being in certain circumstances. Like when they're trapped in that maze-like hospital ward situation, like they are not okay. Like everything is not fine.
I gotta say, I do love this point because it's literally one of the points that Robert had in the interview, like the very last one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Almost like you watched it.
Oh yeah, I did watch it. That's why I wanted to bring it up here.
But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and we would have never gotten to it if you didn't bring it up.
Yeah. But what I love though, especially, was the fact that once they say, "Wait, make sure the door's behind us," and that door's gone. You see that they're in distress. It reminded me when we were doing the chip challenge, and I was in distress. Like it was just not obviously more distressed than me, but they're like, "Oh, what do we do?" And then they meet like this.
Because going off what Max says, they do the suspense because these are technically like ghosts. These are supposed to be like paranormal activities where things.
These are amateur fighters essentially for this. Like they're students still.
Yeah, and they do the suspense really well for the paranormal activities because it's like they walk in and they're like, whoa, what the hell? There's like a whole nother world inside this 2 dorms. They turn around, they're in a maze,
Because at the end of the day, they're not supposed to be there. Because if you do the ranking of their levels, they're not even at the level to be fighting a special grade.
They should be doing what?
Like a 1,
fourth and third.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it
not even like they should.
It's first, second, third, fourth. Third and fourth are the bottom 2.
Yeah, they should have been fighting at 3 or 4.
Yes.
Since they're beginners. But what I found was really interesting when they bump into the special grade, it's not like this. Well, most main characters I think I could take it. It's like, no. They are like, no, we can not do this.
I mean, Itadori literally immediately lost his hand.
Yeah. And what I like most is that they're like, nah, we can't all, like, they're not trying to like fool themselves saying we can all get away. Itadori's like, nah, go. I'll like hold him off for a whole 10 seconds. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And like, he doesn't even do that in all honesty. Like, if that thing was taking him seriously, it would have been, all right, who's next?
And also, it's like, they each character has pushed themselves to a point where they are like, I feel like if I might be, like I said, I might be interpreting wrong, but I feel like some characters who have got into the world of the whole Jujutsu sorcery thing, they low key don't want to be there. So that's
almost everyone I've seen doesn't wanna.
Yeah, so it's like
for the most part.
So also it's like at some point, if their back is against the wall, they are thinking about like going away for vacation, or they don't want to be here, or they just want to die. And there's some characters that will push their powers to the point where they go crazy. And that's what I like too, that if they push their powers far enough, they do have a mental break.
Yeah.
The power-ups are linked so well to character development
and emotion.
Well, the emotion, because cursed energy is dealt with emotions, and specifically negative emotions. The author's able to put these characters in these horrible dramatizing situations, and then that'll not only will that help their character, but that helps their powers progress as well, because as they're in that state of emotion.
What I like specifically is not necessarily about mental toughness getting you through it or like the will to keep winning, but just sometimes just straight up mentally breaking is the way to win, and which I think is a completely different take on compared to other shonen animes where it's usually like the unwavering will to win. Instead, this situation is you pretty much give up and break mentally, and then you win somehow. Like I like that.
It's like
that change.
It's like instead of being a stubborn to their ways, they're like, okay, I've been broken down. Now I'm going to adapt and change into,
and get stronger.
Yeah, because Mahito, like if you notice, I love how self-aware the characters are about their mental growth and their characterization and their character development. You can see Mahito in his first fight. He's literally trying to figure out. He's like, all right, is the soul part of the body? What comes first?
Yep.
And then he gets it wrong, and him getting that wrong causes him to lose that battle.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I don't think he was the stronger one in that battle, but it led him to a lot. No, rephrase. I think he was the stronger one in that battle. Yeah, he was. But
wait, when he's fighting the guy with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's fighting Nanami and Itadori at the same time.
Yeah.
He has this philosophy that the soul comes before the body and the soul makes the body. But, and so that causes him to lose. And so it's great where not only is the choreography like some of the best martial arts I've ever seen. All right, not only is it some of the best choreographed martial arts, but literally like the themes being explored inside are some of the best within the thing, and they blend so well. The character's powers, where when Geto says is the body your are you the body, are you the soul, or are your cursed techniques your cursed techniques are the one that makes the person, because the cursed techniques literally tell you the type of person they are. You know?
Like
that's amazing.
And I know we keep going back to him, but Gojo, like him being born a 6 eyes user and just happening to be born with the limitless ability, like that's so rare. Like both of those things are rare in it of itself, right? But like the odds of it happening together is even more rare. And so from birth, Gojo was destined to be this godly force and it matches his personality too. Like obviously he's supposed to be cocky, and he's not just cocky; he's efficient while being cocky. That's the thing. Because I don't think he's cocky. He is realistic.
No, when I say cocky, I mean like he knows he's the strongest. Like obviously, but like with right to do so, and it's efficient. He's efficient with it. He's always careful.
He has the fight to back it up with his bark. And I do like when you say like character interactions and also just character development and analysis, that the guy who has the stitches, I keep forgetting the names, I'm sorry, but the guy who has when he's
is it Geto or Guido?
Guido.
Yeah.
Guido.
Okay. So, not Mojito.
Not Mojito.
I want some mojitos.
Mojito on Baca Burrito.
So when he is talking about him, he mentioned he's a child. And also you have to think about like when a child is learning something, they get eager to know more about it. So that's an interesting thing, and it plays off in his whole journey when he gets to the point when we're at the arc right now, that this kid is hungry for knowledge about himself and also more things that he can do to make himself stronger. And I thought, and also it's like, yes, he's a character. I want him to die badly because what he's done, but also I'm really interested about his own growth.
So
and how far he can go.
So before I comment on like his growth and whatnot, I actually want to compare him to the weirdest thing, Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World rather. When they genetically engineer that dinosaur, right? The Indominus Rex. And they say a quote where it's finding out where it belongs on the food chain and it realizes it's an apex. I find it to be a very similar situation to that character. And Guido going through and finding out where he belongs, like in the hierarchy.
It's not just Mojito. Although Mojito's a personal. We have a personal journey with Mojito. It makes it a personal journey. But all the curses are doing that. All the curses are realizing we're stronger. Like we're the apex predators.
Yeah.
Here. Like
especially Jogo.
Jogo.
Yeah, he wanted to be better than humans. Like
And
Yeah,
so, so it's a really weird tie-in for Jurassic Park on the surface, but when you delve deeper, it really is like that. When something when something or someone realizes they're that strong, they want to test the upper limits. For those of you still with us, we're gonna go ahead and each of us is gonna give about a 1 to 3 sentence like pitch
Summary?
summary or pitch as to why you should watch and or read this anime / manga, and then we're gonna rate it out of 10 right after. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, so Max, you're up.
Because I'm very simple when it comes to my joy of anime. I have literally no taste, as Devin would say. And I know he called me out in the interview video on that.
No, I didn't.
But yeah, you said people. I remember saying, well, some people just don't have any taste, and I'm like, that was definitely at me.
I said people with taste feel that, and that was about Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, whatever. I heard taste, and that means me. Anyway, but to me, if you're looking for just hype music with awesome fights and just want to get that adrenaline going, and maybe want to learn some martial arts along the way, if you want to get inspired to learn some martial arts, this is what you should be watching, because the fight scenes are unbelievable. The music accompanying those fight scenes is unbelievable. Absolutely. And also, on the side note, just the comedy aspect at the end of each episode, definitely watch. And Absolutely. I'd say watch the entire anime, definitely 100% something you should do. On the other hand, once you finish that anime, definitely read the manga, because you're not going to want to wait.
You're not going to want to wait.
You're not. Sure. All right, Diego, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. And on Max's note, everything Max said was 100% right?
Yep.
That's the first.
But JuJutsu Kaisen has all of that, everything Max just said, and more, because you get the characterization, you get the character development, you get the world building, you get the diversion of tropes, you get the you just get so much. There's just no reason not to read it, honestly. Like, as I was reading it, well, when I'm reading something, I always... All right, hold on. You said 3 sentences. Let me not go on.
That's fine. That's okay. That's okay.
Kaisen.
You said read JuJutsu Kaisen.
All right. Oh.
So I'll go next, and then Robert, you can finish that off. So what I have to say about JuJutsu Kaisen is, since they covered the broad spectrum, I'm going to get a little more specific. There's literally characters for everyone, and if you like the arrogant powerhouse character, you got Gojo Sensei. If you like this degenerate savage, you got Sukuna. If you want a super tragic character who you're rooting for, you have Junbei. If you want a panda that can do parkour, you literally have that. So there's literally character tropes for everyone, and even the female cast is very strong. Not power-wise, some of them are, but what I mean.
Some of them are really. Yeah. All right. So the female cast, I think, is something we should have talked about. The female cast is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So first of all, the female cast is great. Not only because some of the top tiers are the females, but also because the character, you want to see them be happy, not just fighting. You don't want to just see them fight. You don't want to just see them, because the thing with Sakura is we were so used to watching everyone do useful things and stuff like that. We just wanted Sakura to do that. We didn't want to see her chill with Sasuke. We didn't want to see her, crack jokes. We just wanted her to do something.
Fight. You wanted to see her throw hands.
Yeah, exactly. But with these, we're okay. I'm okay with her being weak at first, just just like Megami and stuff.
But to go back into the synopsis before we start a whole new video.
But
the female cast is no, you're fine. Honestly, you're right. We should have talked about it sooner. The female cast is so powerful, and even as characters, all of them feel like people. They don't feel like accessories. They don't feel like set pieces. They feel like people. And I love that. And so the last thing I'll say is, honestly, read the manga because there are some moments of characterization that make some characters seem stronger and weaker. And if you want to get about, like, honestly, like, if you want to learn, like, how to get into anime power scaling, like, this is a good show to start on because, honestly, like, the powers being so diverse and relative to the situation, it really does show that, like, other than Gojo Sensei, everyone can have a unique interaction with another character based on the type of powers they have. And that's going to be it for me. So, Robert, if you want to go ahead and give your synopsis.
I would say for me, for anybody who's interested in manga, that will keep you like on the edge of your seat. Because each chapter, each fight, each arc has like you on some edge of the seat. Like, oh, who's gonna die? What's gonna happen? How are they gonna like defeat this person? And also, like everybody's been saying, the character development, the character interactions, the jokes, the fights, the power ups. It's very diverse, very different from what we're as shonen like readers and like big manga readers is very different and is in its own way too. So yeah,
it's so similar but different.
Yeah, very different. Like it's its own thing, and it's being unapologetically its own thing about it too.
Yeah. So now let's go ahead and real quick, out of 10, no half points, just straight out of 10, Max, because I know you like to do half points. All right, Max, out of 10, JuJutsu Kaisen.
9 out of 10, but with the parkour panda, 10 out of 10.
You got that. All right, Diego, out of 10.
Out of 10, honestly, I would go like a 10 out of 10. I can't. All right, here's the thing. Can you guys name something you guys like dislike about the series?
Again, I had a minor nitpick about an anime adaptation scene that was
that's anime adaptation. I'm talking about like story wise or just anything, because I literally can't think of something where I'm just like just wasn't done well.
10, 9.
I'll say a 9 because the arc that we're in right now, I'm just worried how it will end.
For me, I can't. So my thing about 10s is that's something that I feel is for everybody, right? That's my criteria for a 10 out of 10.
Oh, that's your criteria. Okay.
No, that's just me. That's just me. Yours might be different.
No, I just said that's interesting.
Yeah. So if I told any anime fan, no matter what age, no matter what gender, would I give this a 10 out of 10? I could say yes. Like I could say yes to everybody. But the reason I can't do that for JuJutsu Kaisen is I don't feel like it's for everyone. I feel like a lot, like if you were a younger anime fan, which again we all were at one point, I don't feel like all of the themes would resonate with you. All you would feel is like, oh, that's a hype fight scene. Oh, that's a hype fight scene. But you would miss a lot from the story.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because of comprehension. I will give it a 9 out of 10, which is the highest score I personally give to most things. Do I think it can do, like, if I wasn't just basing it on, is it for everyone? Would it be a 10? Yeah, because I don't think there's anything wrong with the story at all.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I've been Devin.
I'm Diego.
And I'm Max.
And we were joined today by
Robert Barnes.
And we thank you for tuning into this episode. Go ahead and leave a like and a comment down below. Tell us if you'd like to see Robert come back in the future. Show some love. He's on Instagram at, what's your Instagram handle?
Robert Barnes Jr.
At Robert Barnes Jr. on Instagram. Go show him some love. He's an actor. He's dope. I can't talk him up enough. So go ahead, leave a like and a comment on the video. We hope to see you guys next week.